Hello and welcome back to My Own Worst Enemy. And I'm going to go through yet another unboxing of something that is set in the Pacific. I was talking about, if you remember, I recently uploaded an unboxing of VUCA's carrier battles in the Pacific. And I think I mentioned in that video that, or maybe it was the follow-up video where I unboxed Old Breed South Pacific, where I said I was swimming in Pacific games. Well, I'm not kidding. This just arrived yesterday afternoon. And this is one, I didn't do the Kickstarter on this. I ordered this way back when they first announced it. So I jumped in as soon as I could because I actually own this game. Now this is Carrier and this is from Victory Games. And this is a game that I bought not long after I got back into wargaming, I should say. And this is one of those games that I saw it, I bought it. This was back when you could actually find copies that weren't ridiculously priced. This is also by John Southard. But I found a copy of this and I bought it and I proceeded to sit it on the shelf and just kind of ignore it because there was a lot of talk in the war game community about just how difficult this game was to learn, and you had to have a PhD to try to understand what was going on with the rules, and that kind of turned me off of this a little bit, and I set it aside, and I was always meaning to get back to it and give it a try and fight the rule book and see what was actually in here. I do plan to do that still at some point because this game, while it is based on Carrier, it is not a remake of Carrier. It is not an upgrade. It is not a second edition. It is just based on Carrier. This is the same designer. It's John Southard. So this is a solitaire-only game. This is from Compass Games. It's Carrier Battle Philippine Sea. And it is a solitaire-only game, which, you know, that's nice because it's going to give the Japanese the AI routines that you'll need to search out their carriers before they find yours. And, you know, this has all the good stuff that you want in a carrier game. You're searching for your enemy task force. You've got your airstrikes and your fleets, and you're trying to eliminate the other guy's carriers before he eliminates yours. So let's take a look in here. I just wanted to open this up and go through real quick. Have not opened it yet. We're going to open it together. That's what these unboxings are for. And really, you know, a lot of people complain about unboxings, and I'm not a big fan of them either because it seems like it's not as much there that, you know, you get from a playthrough. But one thing I do like about unboxings are you do get to see the components. So if you're thinking about buying a game and someone does an unboxing, you at least get the opportunity to see if the components meet your expectations. So at minimum, I think they serve that purpose. So unboxings do serve a purpose, small as it may be. So that's why I do them, and I'm going to continue to do them. You get a D10. That's nice. One D10. And in Carrier over here, we'll look in that in just a second because I want to compare some of these components. But there's a D10 in Carrier as well, I'm pretty sure. If I remember correctly, I haven't opened Carrier in years, so I'm kind of curious to see what is in there. We'll take a look at that. It's actually, when I did open it, the person that I bought this game from, or at least whoever sold me the game, acquired the game from a wargamer that seemed to take care of his games really well. So Ziploc bags, we have plenty of those. I'm probably going to use one of the game trays to GMT counter trays, or one of the newer counter trays to store this game in. So first thing we look at here is the rule book. Typical rule book, the glossy paper. It's really thick though. It's a little thicker than most paper, I think. Yeah, it definitely is thicker. So the cover seems thinner than the actual inside, which is weird, but the paper's thicker, glossy, good print. So it's what we come to expect in rule books these days. Table of contents is there, and I'm going to do just a quick flip through here just so we can see what we're dealing with. We have counters, game equipment, and of course, then this looks like, so this is a one of those QR codes. I guess you can scan that with your iPhone and go right to Compass, so that's interesting. Again, there's the counters, the sequence of play, and I believe the way this game is going to work, they're going to walk you through some introductory scenarios, 4 or 5 of those, and then you're going to get into some actual full-on battles, full games. Just flipping through, I see smoke markers, Japanese forces, and I'm really interested to see how the AI works in this game. I'm wondering if it's something we could apply to other games like this that do not include an AI for the carriers and the way they move. Like I'm playing Midway right now, and it does not have an AI. It's just me playing each side best I can, but maybe we can apply some of this back to Midway, and it might be something I'll look at doing. I do want to do more solitaire only methods on this channel, and I'm hoping that this year finally I'll have the time to address some of those issues and talk a little bit more about solitaire gaming and things you can do. So some examples, we love to see examples. That's going to help us learn the game even more. Nice rule book. We'll set that aside and pull out the playbook. Now this is not as thick as that rule book. And this is what I was talking about. Here you have the introductory scenarios. So there's 5 of these introductory scenarios where you're going to learn the game. You're going to get 2 standard scenarios, and then you're going to get the advanced scenarios, the whole enchilada, the Battle of the Philippine Sea, the Great Carrier Battle of the Pacific, the largest carrier battle in World War II. So I'll just take a quick look. It looks like the setup charts are here, and I'm sure we're going to see these cards in the box as we dig in. Nice setup information. I like the way the art is done, and the text is also large enough for me to read easy, so that is always appreciated. And I won't flip through the whole book. I just want to look at the back to make sure I'm not missing anything. No, it's just that. It's just the scenarios. And time and date optional. So that is the playbook. We will get right on now to it's like this. These are the cards. So card 1 back. Let's take a look at the front of this. And this is just going to be your player aid cards, it looks like. And what I'm looking at, I guess this is probably where the AI comes in. Card 3 is just more the same. So there's 4 of these cards. We have some damage effects, summaries, contact tables. This looks to me like just generic player's aid cards. And then we had this turn flow chart. And it looks like there's an arrival phase, an action phase, and an end phase, with the action phase, of course, being the most active. That makes sense. Nothing on the back side of that card. The air raid flow chart. And again, I'm wondering if this is probably for the AI system. Nothing on the back of that. I wonder why they didn't double print these. And then Japanese movement priority. So that's going to drive the Japanese AI. And then we have this large card, and this looks like the carrier card to me. It looks like you would have your aircraft that are out on the deck and those kinds of things. Nothing on the back again, so wasted space. I don't like to see that, but it is what it is. Digging a little further into this, we have the counters, and these are actually sealed in plastic. They look like 1/2-inch counters. And I'm going to see if I can tear the plastic off these. And I suspect when you see them sealed in plastic like this, a lot of times that's done for a reason. And that reason is the counters are going to fall right out when you try to open the box. I'm trying to get this plastic off without ripping into the counters themselves. So I'm going to peel this plastic off. All right, so that plastic is off, and let's just take a look and see how these fall out. It does look like these are going to be very easy to punch out. So when I see a counter sheet wrapped in plastic like that, my first fear is that, well, I shouldn't say wrapped in plastic, because like I said, wrapped in plastic is a good thing. But when I see counter sheets like this, my fear is you'll have the center nibs, which we all hate, right? That just makes it difficult for these things to come out, and you have to cut them out with an X-Acto. But these aren't like that. There's no center nibs. They're just ready to fall right out. Most of them are. These bottom ones are a little tighter because there's only 6 counters per. So let's take a look at the counters. We do have, they look to be 1/2-inch, maybe a little larger than, I don't think they're 5/8. They look like 1/2-inch to me. So I'll hold these up so you can see the aircraft carrier there. So you don't have the larger counters for the larger ships, which is slightly disappointing. Not much on the back of these. Not much on the back of these at all. So I'm going to carefully move that over, and these are more of those counters, fighters. So you can take a look at these fighters. Nice looking counters. And not much on the backs of these either. See some numbers there, so that's interesting. And this is just more carrier information and markers and game markers and that kind of thing. So 3 counter sheets of counters that are just trying their best to fall out, and that's why they were wrapped in plastic. And then looks like finally we get to the game board. Now this is a mounted game board, which I like to see. I like the mounted game boards more than I like the paper ones, but I can work with either one. Let's get the whole thing on the camera here so we can see the whole thing, which is good because I'll be able to do a playthrough of this and get the whole camera, the whole board on the camera. So there you go, ocean, and I see some Japanese carriers here, and that probably has something to do with the AI and these zones. I imagine there's probably going to be some kind of routine you'll run through to see where those carriers are moving and how you're trying to find them. Task groups, task forces over here, it looks like. And I see different admirals. I don't know if you're going to have, I'm assuming you'll have these different admirals commanding these task force. Flights ready, your aircraft readiness, air missions. Nice map. So that's it. You've seen everything in the box. Now what I wanted to do is just compare the components to the game that this was based on. And I'm going to just take a quick look in here. So let's move the map out of the way so we can see it a little better. So you get kind of a bonus unboxing here. So like I said, I've owned Carrier for many, many years, and it has sat unplayed on the shelf, which is a shame, I know. But it's not the only one that's done that. So this is something I ordered off of eBay years and years ago. I'm going to put this over here so I don't get this stuff mixed up. And I haven't opened this box since then. So let's see if we can get it on camera. This is just the way it came. I did not put these in Ziploc bags. And in fact, I didn't put it in this little Plano tray. It came to me like this. So they're not clipped. And this Ziploc baggie contains blank counters. So whoever did this is like me. They keep the blank counters because these can be turned into useful counters. And again, I need to do a show on that to show you what things you can do with your blank leftover counters you don't use. These are game markers, game informational type markers. So you see questions marked there and located and that kind of thing. And then these are the counters. I'll try to show you let's see if I can grab a carrier or a ship or something. These are also half-inch counters. And I'm going to grab a counter sheet from over here. If I can grab one without knocking them all out. So it looks like, well, let's see. Yeah, they're like, I mean, I know that these, and I'll show you this one. This is so we're losing them already. I'll hold up a couple of these here, and I was just trying to read what these are. It looks like a submarine. So I'm going to hold two of these up. We'll take a look at these together. And this is from the older game Carrier. And so those are the small markers. And if you look at those, I'll try to put these on top of the new markers. So again, the old Victory game counters are half-inch. And, well, I just lost some of the counters there. So you can look at these. The Victory game half-inch counters are actually just a hair smaller than these newer Carrier Battle half-inch counters, which is interesting to me. But, you know, it's not that big of a difference, but there is a difference there. So I'm going to put these back. So yeah, whoever owned this copy of Carrier took the time to sort these, and I haven't done a complete inventory to make sure I've got all the counters, and there are a mess of counters in this game. In both games, really. I mean, that's a lot of counters for a solitaire game, 3 sheets. I'm hoping that all the counters are there. And this is the infamous rule book. See, it's got a D10 in there. I remember that from opening this years and years ago. And looks like an old Avalon Hill Victory Games postcard we can mail in and see what happens. So Carrier rules of play. I won't flip through the whole thing, but this book is, and I just thought I saw something in here. So it looks like, again, whoever owned this game took care of it, because this is actually errata that they put in. So this is kind of a little errata sheet. So well cared for. I think, though, he might have taped that in, so it's permanent. I'm not going to try to remove it. Black and white, almost black and white. You see some blue ink there, but it's basically just a black and white rule book. And these are the rules that everybody claims you need a PhD to understand. I don't know. I still plan on playing this, so we're going to find out. I don't have a PhD, so I may not be able to learn the game. This is the map, and let's just look at this real quick. And already I think I like the other map a little better. I don't know, maybe not. Let's see. I mean, this is not a mounted map. This is just a paper map. But this one has, and again, it's a different area, I know, but this has the Solomon Islands and some more land, Coral Sea down here than what we saw on that other map. So interesting. Looks like the map might be a little smaller. And again, it's got the flight deck displays, the hangars, and all the information. Japanese movement summary. So in the Japanese, again, this is the Japanese is AI controlled. That's on here. So a nice looking map. And then just more of the player's aid cards. And it looks like we can order more games from Avalon Hill Victory Games if we want to send that in and see what happens. Nice player aid cards. These are larger than the ones that came with the Carrier Battle Philippine C. But again, they're just the matte, almost black and white cards. Not as nice as the newer ones. And this looks like an article that maybe this person put in here. Carrier to be or not to be. So that will be an interesting read through. That's Fire and Movement number 73. So there you go. I just received this, wanted to do a quick unboxing. We did a little comparison there with the game. This is based on Carrier. This, of course, though, is Carrier Battle Philippine C. John Southard Compass Games. I am looking forward to getting this to the table. I've got a lot of stuff stacked up, so what's going to get to the table next, I don't really know. I have started working on GMT's U.S. Civil War. I did a poll a while back, and people wanted to see a playthrough of that, so I'm trying to start setting that up. In addition to that, though, I will get one of these other games to the table as soon as I can. So there you go, a quick unboxing, Carrier Battle Philippine C. Look for a playthrough here. Subscribe if you haven't so you'll know when that's coming. Like the video, that always helps, and I will see you back here next time. Thanks for watching.